Our next guest says that trade has more room to run. Let's bring in Jeff deGraaf. He's Renaissance Macro's chairman and head of technical research. Welcome back. Your bottom line call here is that you are still bullish. Tell me more.
Yeah, look, the trends are still positive. We don't have a lot of momentum, internal momentum, but that's not the end of the world by any means. In fact, a lot of times that results in a good setup because it's a consolidation. You've got a pretty unique condition, which is an overbought condition in yields. And those yields are in a downtrend. You've got an overbought condition in the dollar. The dollar's in a downtrend. And when those contract, in other words, respond to that overbought condition, usually it's good for cyclicals. And I think importantly, Scott, if we look historically over the last 100 years, this week is the most important week or the most bullish week for the market's 3-month forward returns of any week in the year, right? So by investing today, the next 3 months historically are never brighter than they are here at the end of October. So I think that confluence of things, the overbought condition in rates, the overbought condition in the dollar and seasonals really set up nicely for a cyclical trade through the remainder of the year into the first half of 2025.
But I mean, you say yields are in a downtrend. Are they? I wonder if we're in the process of recalibrating, to borrow the word of the Fed chair, obviously, the way we need to think about where yields are going. And for that matter, the dollar as well. Because I've got more and more people thinking that now maybe the dollar is going to strengthen depending on, one potential outcome of the election, too. There feels like a lot of uncertainty on both accounts based on what happens 2 weeks from today.
Well, I think that's fair. I mean, we measure the trends quantitatively, and our systems tell us, given this combination of volatility and returns and path of least resistance, that those trends are, in fact, negative. I think if you pushed our oscillators up from roughly this +3 zone into +5, that would start to really beg the question as to whether or not we're getting trend changes. But it's not unusual that we start rethinking kind of the underlying premise when you get overbought, and that's kind of what the markets are there to do, right? Is to make you question what's happening. And I think this is just an overbought condition. In fairness, I do think it is the market looking forward to the election, but I think these are overbought conditions that will probably subside as we get through the fourth quarter.
Do you not agree then with someone like Paul Tudor Jones, who is positioning clearly, as he stated this morning on this network, for a reflation trade? Commodities, expecting things like silver, gold, copper, and other things so highly tied to that to continue to rise.
Yeah, it's a mixed message. So I am absolutely 100% on board with the gold call. Silver just broke out this week and looks fantastic. I mean, that's one of the best charts in the markets overall. You don't have really much going on in oil, and that usually helps with the inflation story. So I think that is certainly something that will work to the advantage of not only the Fed, but the inflation data. And Bitcoin, the Bitcoin breakout to us, while it hasn't cleared that hurdle of about 73,000, it certainly is improving and looking better. So I would say it's too soon for us to make that call in yields, but we are absolutely on board with the precious metal call. And frankly, that's part of the cyclical call that we're making here as well. It just doesn't look like right here yields are the right call to make here.
I mean, just to note, silver fresh high thanks to our markets desk. Silver fresh high back to September of 2012. Gold, its 45th record year to date. So we note that as well. What's going on with the semis? What's the message there? Because the underperformance is stark.
Yeah, so I will tell you, I mean, this is one of the kind of internal debates that we have, because if cyclicals are going to work, which is our call, it's pretty hard for those not to work if you look historically at the correlation to semis. I just think they're still digesting the over-enthusiasm that we had at the end of the first half, call it June and July. I think they're just really getting themselves through that. And, they'll probably work out towards the middle half to back half of 2025. But I think you have to frustrate people. And that's usually what happens when we get our sentiment indicators that are percolating like that. It's usually not a big top formation. It's something that just through apathy, people just get frustrated and move on. And I think that's probably what we're dealing with. There are good charts. I mean, the NVIDIA chart is a good chart. The the Broadcom chart is a good chart, but there are several names, whether it's Lam or it's Qualcomm or Cirrus or just about name any others, that still look like they're vulnerable. They're losing relative performance. So my gut tells me this is more of a sentiment call and just a recalibration of the overenthusiasm that we had, but we'll certainly be watching that. But we think there are better places to play that cyclicality. Comm equipment, as an example here, look pretty interesting to us.